In the early hours of Friday, July 25th, our cybersecurity protection systems detected suspicious activity on our city's network. That alert triggered an immediate and coordinated response led by Deputy Mayor Jamie Tincher, Office of Communications, Technology and Communications Director Jamie Wascalis, Chief Information Security Officer Stephanie Horvath, and Emergency Management Director Rick Shute. Working closely with state leaders and private cybersecurity experts, our teams quickly moved to investigate, assess, and contain the situation. We now know that this was not a system glitch or technical error. This was a deliberate, coordinated digital attack carried out by a sophisticated external actor, intentionally and criminally targeting our city's information infrastructure. From the moment this threat was identified, we've taken swift action to defend our systems and protect our community. We've activated the city's Emergency Operations Center to coordinate a whole-of-government response. We've retained 2 national firms with deep cybersecurity expertise to support our recovery, and we're working closely with local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, to trace the source and scope of the breach. To ensure our team has full and immediate access to every available resource, I am issuing a local declaration of emergency to give our teams the tools we need to move quickly and respond with the urgency this situation demands. Yesterday, we initiated a full shutdown of our information systems as a defensive measure to contain the threat. The citywide service outages we've experienced, including loss of Wi-Fi in city buildings, disruptions to the city libraries' collections management systems, and suspension of network access for a wide range of internal applications, are all the result of intentional, proactive actions taken to isolate and secure our systems. We recognize that these outages have created inconveniences for residents and city staff alike. While these disruptions are difficult, they are necessary steps to limit exposure, preserve system integrity, and protect sensitive information as our investigation and recovery efforts continue. I have been in direct contact with Governor Walz and have formally requested emergency support from the Minnesota National Guard, whose cybersecurity experts are now actively assisting us in securing, restoring, and rebuilding our digital infrastructure. Again, this breach was intentionally caused by a criminal external threat actor. While our investigation is ongoing, and we continue working to confirm what systems were accessed and what data, if any, may have been stolen, we are urging all city staff to take precautionary steps to safeguard their digital security in both their personal and professional lives. To help provide more detail on our response operations, I'm joined today by Office of Technology and Communications Director Jamie Wascalis, who is helping lead our cross-agency coordination and will offer further updates. While our team will stand for limited questions at the end of this briefing, this remains not only an active investigation, but an ongoing and dynamic threat. As such, we are able to provide basic information about what has happened and the steps we are taking to ensure operational continuity of city services, but can neither speculate on the motivations of the threat actor nor share specific details about the investigation at this time. We will continue providing updates as this work progresses. In the meantime, we remain focused on defending our systems, protecting our city, and upholding the trust of the people we serve. Thank you, Director Wascalis.
Thank you, Mayor Carter. We are the victims of a serious crime. In response, we have mobilized local, state, and federal partners to support our investigation and response efforts. This incident does remain active, and we continue to assess it in real time. Our teams are working around the clock to understand the full scope of the situation and our plan for the restoration of services. We are taking every necessary precaution to protect our systems and those services, and we will not restore services until we have complete confidence in our understanding of the incident. I am so grateful for the swift actions taken by our Office of Technology and Communications teams, our Emergency Management Department, city leadership, and our local, state, and federal partners. Thank you.
Again, I'm able to take limited questions. I can speak to the ongoing efforts to maintain city operations. I can speak to the basic kind of timeline of what's happened. Cannot speculate on the intent of the actor, nor share any details on the ongoing investigation. Fred?
Mayor Carter, if you could just explain, this is an extraordinary statement that you've just put out. People hearing this are going to be alarmed. What is the specific threat to the public? Is there a threat to the public? And is there a specific threat to the city? Can you be more specific?
Right now, we are the focus has been on maintaining the continuity of citywide operations and also the integrity of our systems and our data. And so we are working to identify what systems and what data they may have had access to. And the conversation is centered around city systems, city technological infrastructure, not necessarily an acute threat to a resident at home somewhere. And so that's what we're working to address and kind of move. Like I said, part of our assessment is to understand what, if any, data may have been stolen. And so, that's why we're advising city staff to take precautions with regard to their own digital identity and security, both in their personal and professional capacities.
What's at stake here, though? I mean, what is at stake? I think you're going to need to explain more so that the public understands this extreme warning.
Is that an answer? Is that something that one of you can take? Okay. I'll hand the microphone to our Chief Information Security Officer, Stephanie Horvath.
Right now, it is just City St. Paul systems, just the city systems. We are monitoring all the services that are then provided to the residents of the City of St. Paul, ensuring that those services can still happen. But then you have the residents who are concerned, right? We are all concerned. This has not happened. We've never experienced this before. And so providing as much information, starting with this initial brief, and we will continue to brief. But right now, we have contained the risk to city systems only, our networks and our systems. And that's why we took defensive measures to cut any further access of we call them the threat actor at this time, until we can do more investigation. And we are deep into that investigation. At least it's been a very long 24 hours, as you could about imagine.
Is there any personal information of people outside of the city that is contained in the systems that were touched by this?
At this time, we are going through a restoration of systems to actually do that investigation. We're also pulling network logs, and we're also looking for assistance with our partners that we have mentioned to really do the comprehensive analysis to answer that question. We just need a little more time to do all of that grinding through logs upon logs upon logs. But we will continue to provide updates ongoing.
Let me be clear. Let me be clear. We have very limited, if any, data on specific residents who are not, and individuals who are not city employees. And so we believe that there is a low risk of what you just described. We are still working to define the entire scope of what's possible, and so we'll have to continue to communicate where that's concerned. But we do believe that there's low risk beyond the possibility of data stolen in relation to city employees.
Has this had any impact on 911 services, emergency services in any way?
911 services continue to operate as normal. We have experienced some kind of back-end kind of challenges, but as far as our residents are concerned, if you have an emergency, call 911 and expect our first responders to operate as normal.
What services are unavailable if you want to go to a city library, for example, or if you want to pay your water bill? I mean, can we talk about those level of impacts, and how long are we talking about for the restoration of services that might be impacted?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we go into wide area network shutdown, what that means is that all internet is cut off. And so the majority of city services right now are not available. And we are working to figure out that next step of planning for restoration of services. Again, this is an ongoing investigation, an ongoing restoration. So it may take some time for us to get to that point. But for right now, we are putting up some messaging on our website to allow people to know who to contact, where to go if they do have some needs. And we're continuing to work with our departments to make sure that we are pinpointing their services and can get them up and running as soon as possible.
But the libraries are still open, the rec centers are still open, the police are still using GPS, right? It's just when you're at the library, you can't use the internet.
That is correct. That is correct.
Has a ransom been asked for?
Again, this is an ongoing and active investigation, and right now, I don't have any further information on that. We are continuing to work with our security team, our local, state, and federal teams to really fully assess the situation and then go forward with recovery.
Can you tell us if yes or no it's been asked for?
I'll share. It's an ongoing investigation. I'm not aware of a ransom that has been requested, but again, this team is responsible for city operations. We are not the lead agency with regard to the investigation. We are working with federal partners who are the lead on the investigation. I imagine at some point there will be communication about the investigation from them, about the details of the investigation. We don't have much of that detail, and so that's one of the reasons why it can't come from us, in addition to the fact that it is an ongoing investigation. So, like I said before, I'm just not able to share any details about the investigation, partially because we have limited information about the investigation at this time, and partially because the situation is dynamic and currently evolving.
Is the
Who's the
lead the
lead?
FBI?
I believe the FBI is the lead investigative partner on this. Is that accurate?
Can you speak to the cooperation with the federal agencies at all? Obviously, there's been some tension with the administration. How has that cooperation been on this incident?
The cooperation has been seamless.
Yeah, I'm sorry, is the FBI the lead? I didn't.
I believe the FBI may be the lead. There's a number of partners who are working together on the investigation. It is unfolding. Would it be the FBI who's the lead agency?
I would say it is very much a coordinated and ongoing effort right now. So we have we are working with the FBI, with the Minnesota National Guard, and other local, state, and federal agencies. It is an ongoing situation, and we are continuing to work with them.
Can you talk about what kind of security measures the city has taken? Like, does the city have multi-factor authentication, for example, for city employees and things like this, to stuff that experts say is helpful?
Absolutely. I'll comment on that, and then maybe Chief Information Security Officer Horvath wants to follow up. But yes, we take our employees and our city data very, very seriously. Microsoft multi-factor authenticator, we do use multi-factor authentication in the majority of our services, and we follow I'll give you the guidance that we must, the federal guidance when it comes to our security posture. So we have a very secure system. Unfortunately, these attacks and can happen anywhere, and that's something where we have been briefing leadership here, keeping people aware of all of the threats against us in the city. So this is just something that unfortunately, this was our time, and we are taking a look at all of our security policies, but we do have very strong security policies. I'll say very briefly, I've been here for 3 years, and sometimes it's been so secure, I can't do my job as quickly as I want to. So it's been wonderful to see the work that the team has been putting in for decades to secure our city services.
You described extraordinary defensive actions.
We'll ask CISO or that.
Lots of security controls, right? But obviously something did not work well here because we did have, this threat actor in our environment. But we have a dynamic and multi-layered security controls. And that's why we are in a containment and took aggressive action to, all right, well, we are going to isolate and ensure that this threat actor cannot do any further disruption in our network. And so to go through all those layers right now, I don't think would be most prudent because we are really involved in the investigation, the restoration. But at some point, as I am primarily responsible for the security of the city's networks and systems, and so I will answer ongoing questions about our security controls.
Well, you've outlined extraordinary defensive actions.
Yeah.
What do you think your defensive actions prevented so far?
So one of our major layers was, it's called an EDR, Endpoint Detection and Response System. This response system serves like a little force field on your computer, and it alerted us to some nefarious script activity. That's what first triggered us to, there's something going on within our environment, and that's what spurred on this immediate response to take a lot of containment actions. And I'd like to keep it generic for right now as we have this ongoing conversation. But I would say once we were alerted, we went to an immediate response of containment and isolation of the data, understanding that we would have to do more evaluations into the systems, all the servers, all the infrastructure, all the switches. And usually when I start talking all of that, people want me to stop talking. But
No worries. Thank you. Thank you, Cecil Horvath. I recognize that there is still a wide breadth of information that we all want. Obviously, this is a rapidly evolving situation, and as we continue to get information and have the ability to share it with you, again, without compromising city services or the integrity of the investigation, we will continue to provide updates as we move forward. That's all we're able to share today. I thank you all for being here. We'll continue to be in touch with further updates as this situation evolves. Thank you much.